Hello. Sorry. Sorry about that. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Let me make sure that you guys can hear me. Let me take this away. And let me just make sure I got the right connection. Okay. Um, audio device. Sure. That looks good. Very good. All right. So, as you can see, it's been a long time since I've started the show where I didn't realize that the microphone was muted, where I would talk for a month of Sundays, not even realizing that you guys cannot hear me. But the good thing is that we seem to be okay. All right. So. Oh, man. I love this. Okay. Bit of controversy about Piers Morgan, but I'll tell you about that later. Something I certainly didn't know, but someone in the squad brought it to my attention. Okay, so it's like one of those things that you'll never hear Piers Morgan criticize. Anyway, sorry, but that's for later. That is for later. So no worries about that. And we are good. And let me say hello to a few people, and then we will get started. Okay. Very good. All right. Always working on the slides till the absolute last moment. All right. Yes, no, good. Get rid of that. And all right. So hello to Lydia, Rick, Connie Baumer, Gwendolyn Daniels, Karen is here. What is it? Oh, Eucelia E. Nelson, yes. And Susie Q is here. All right, very good. Virginia Carvalho, yes. Elaine Parker, very good. Nash Singby, thank you again for the nice gift. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. By the way, you guys, I opened up all of the packages yesterday, but I don't have any of the photos. Anyway, I guess I don't really need to do the photos because you guys know what you sent. And I did send the thank yous out. So, but yeah. So let me see. I got this really nice canvas duffel bag, like a weekend bag. Oh my God, is that thing beautiful? And it feels so like substantial in quality. I and it wasn't anything that I had on my list. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, I'll talk about that stuff later. Let's hi Black Queen. Let's just get started, shall we? Hi, Joan Garcia. But yeah, you guys are so spoiling me. I swear. I got a phone charger that I've never had the kind where you like lay the phone down, and a couple of phone cases that I was pining for. So that was greatly appreciated. Kit Kats. All right, all right. Let me stop. Let me stop. It was like Christmas came early this year. So thank you all very much for the wonderful gifts. And of course, check your inbox. Darn it, I forgot to check my email. I was supposed to check my email for something and totally forgot again. I am so sorry if you guys have emailed me and I haven't gotten to it. This is when I remember it, is when I'm actually on air. And but yeah, I will check those. So sorry about that again for the delay, but I will check the emails very soon. Okay. Thing is, I keep them separate. I have a separate email from the one that I use for everyday business for obvious reasons, because it would get kind of crowded fast and I would like it just wouldn't work out. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I was listening to Pedal earlier. Great show. Let's see. Shay Doll, hi, welcome. Sawboss, Rosalind Gatewood, hello. All right, soon as my slides are up, and there they go, we are good to go. All right, so top 10 TV programs in US today. Well, when it comes to the Netflix, we all know who's number one. What I can't wrap my brain around is the fact that Netflix, with all of their infrastructure, with all of their like big time streaming all around the world, how does your system crash? I'll tell you how. Harry and Meghan, the love story, and I think maybe that would have been more of an appropriate name, but of course, that name may have prevented some people from watching because it may have been confused with a Lifetime movie or something of that effect. So, I'm pretty sure that they did some type of marketing to decide exactly which name was best, but just Harry and Meghan makes a lot of sense. Anyway, great documentary. If you guys haven't watched it yet, you really should. I'm gonna go and watch it again. I actually downloaded it to my phone so that I can just kind of watch it anywhere. It was well worth the wait. I would have preferred that it come out sooner, obviously, to save us from a lot of the tabloid headaches that we've all suffered. But everything comes in time. God has a greater plan. So um, I guess this was the time. And, we may have seen it sooner, but the Queen died, and that just pushed everything back. And that's what has happened to the Sussexes. Philip died, the Queen died, the pandemic. And so those are three big things that has pushed a lot of their plans back. And of course, because of the intense harassment from the media, I still say that the loss of an unborn child from the Sussexes probably happened because of unforeseen circumstances, and who knew that a multi-billion-dollar industry like the British tabloid press would use the weight of their resources to try to destroy them. But that's exactly what's happened. And so finally, the Sussexes have an opportunity to tell their story in their own voice. And even though some people like Anna Navarra and Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of those people on The View seem to think that this is some kind of game, which it certainly is not. But I watched that again, that little exchange about the Sussexes on The View, and it's amazing how in just a couple minutes they could use their platform to basically malign people that they don't even really know. They're not intimate friends of the Sussexes at all. And I guess that false impatience that they have. They say, well, I guess it was Anna who said she's just tired of them crying all the time. How could you say that if you haven't even seen it? If you haven't even seen it, like they wept through the entire thing. She's in television. She's a public figure. She knows what a promo is like. She knows how these things happen. There's no pleading ignorance of that. And this is someone who at one time I had some small semblance of respect for. Now I don't care for any of them, and that's Whoopi included. I don't care for any of them, even the ones who seemingly are pro Sussex. You're all part of the same tribe, part of the same game, and you all are fed the same misinformation or feign ignorance whenever it is convenient for you. So I don't care for any of them. I even asked myself, would this be happening if Barbara Walters was still on the show, if Barbara Walters still had any control and interest? And the answer is, yeah, probably. Because Barbara Walters, well, she was a piece of work herself when she was still actively on television and has misrepresented people through her reporting or journalism or her famous interviews. She's also, like the way she's ambushed a few people just for the sake of the ratings. So, um, I don't care that they're right there in league with loose women as far as I'm concerned now. Much to do about nothing. So, yes, I'm done with the View for good. I I would, I would watch every so often just because this person or that person was on there. I haven't sat down to watch a full hour of that in years, only streaming bits and pieces. But now I don't even want to give them that clickbait. So, um, farewell to the View. What a waste of opportunity for a true dialogue. But I guess if you want that, all of these shows are guilty of that, by the way. They're all guilty of taking these incredible liberties with someone else's story and pretending as though what. Speaking of which, I don't know if I think I mentioned this maybe 2 days ago or yesterday that one curly haired, yeah, I did mention her, that one curly haired content creator who is supposed to be like the auntie or whatever, who said some disparaging things about Meghan. Um, well, uh, well, no, I'm not going to say anything mean. I Okay, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna think it. I'm gonna think it. So anyway, what's this, Lydia? That is the wish list. Is that what it is? Yes, it is. It's my wish list. Okay. I'm gonna post that to the top of the chats. Okay. I'll leave that up there for now. I'll post that to the top of the chats. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. Delta Dawn, what's that flower you got on? Could it be a mystery of days gone by? And did I hear you say he was meeting you here today to take you to his mansion in the sky? I don't know why. I just felt like singing Delta Dawn. Um, hmm. That's interesting. How come I can't? I don't see that. Let me try that again. Delta Dawn. That song is going to get stuck in your heads all day. So, 8 months membership? Sheila Watson, 8 months memberships? Thank you so much for that. 8 months of membership to World Sussex. I was going to say World Star, whatnot. Royal Sussex or World Sussex. Royal Sussex. Thank you so much for that. Lydia, can you try that again? Because I'm not able to do that. If you don't mind, and I'll do it the next go round. I didn't have my other screen open yet. But thank you so much for the reminder. And let me scroll down. Down. Dina Nassar, thank you so much for the super sticker. Dina says, hello, Baron. Hello, squaddies. Happy Sunday to all. Thank you so much, Dina Nassar, and happy Sunday to you too. Thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. All right. And I thought I saw another one. So that was, there it is. Shelly L says, what's wrong with loose women? What's wrong with loose women? Loose women, what is right with them? I can't think of a thing. Loose women, and I know that this is a bit of sarcasm and wit, but oh my goodness, I love the Queen. Remember that when they had Stacey Solomon on there, and that one goes, "I love the Queen." This is what's wrong with it. Here we go.
just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
Yeah. I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals, or as like Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're
I
becoming
love the
celebrities.
Queen.
Well, yeah, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me, is brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, for duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard, hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
But they don't pay for all of the houses. But
just a few.
That's what's wrong. Anyway, Shelly L, thank you so much for your super chat, and thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. So that's what's wrong with it. Did you guys notice, this is a bit off the topic, but did you guys notice that everybody seems to have like a little trouble getting their car started? It's like well, not everybody, but a lot of people I know, every time they go to say something is, you know, like they need to, I don't know, play with the butterfly on the carburetor or something. But whatever this virus is that's going around, there's like seems to be several things going around at one time. I'm going to say this with all love and respect. Please wear your mask when you're in public or groups of people. I'm not saying that you should be absolutely fanatical about it, but I imagine that as we are in the winter season and a lot of people will be indoors in close quarters a lot, it just makes sense to take those slight precautions as they do in a lot of places in Asia where they, you know, seem to be ahead of us when it comes to protecting ourselves. And so I'm still doing that. And I can't tell you, whatever it is, it's just like it's a little mild respiratory thing. And, you know, I think the worst of it was behind me, although, you know, I didn't complain about it or anything, but it's been it's been like that for the longest, you know, and these things just kind of creep up occasionally, but this season seems to be particularly bad. So I'm just going to say, when in doubt, just make sure you protect yourselves. It doesn't cost you anything. You probably have them anyway. So just wear them. I don't see anybody anymore, just myself and the odd person here and there. And nobody else seems to care, but I don't want nothing anybody else got. Nothing. Not even a hangnail. Let me see. Let me see. Is it ISW? No, IS is a smile. Is a smile? Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex, and also thank you so much for being here on a Sunday. You could have been any place else, but you're spending time with us, or Monday. It may be Monday where you are already. But all the same, thank you so much, and it's greatly appreciated. And thank you for supporting this channel. Okay, let me see. I had to turn off the view. I hate that they're trivializing the Sussex's pain from the racism and the smear campaign. In the past, they used to be better informed. Yeah, so true. Oh, by the way, I got someone gave me like a set of I think it's the same as the duffel bag. I got a set of reading glasses, and they're the perfect strength for me. And very stylish, might I add. So someone has decided, Baron, if you're not going to go to the eye doctor, let's see what I can do for you. So I got some reading glasses. Wasn't that sweet? 4 of them, because as you know, us baby boomers always leave our glasses somewhere, but I can put a pair in the car, a pair in the Oval Office, the bathroom, and a few other places that I frequent. So very, very practical gift. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down because I think I'm like way behind and missing a bunch of stuff. Backyard scenery. Oh, about the backyard being beautiful. Hey, Myra, did you notice the two trees? Do you remember some time ago they said that the two trees symbolize Harry and Meghan, that they saw those two trees, and I think Archie said that's mommy and daddy or something like that. That was a while ago, not in this docu-series, but I think that was a while ago that that was mentioned. So that was very sweet. Okay, but yes, the two trees, they're like dancing with one another. Uh, oh, yes, got it. Thank you so much. That is the Royal Sussex wish list. There's only a couple of items on there, and I'll add some other stuff soon. But remember, you guys are not obliged to shop on the Royal Sussex list at all, but it is a wish list. So just in case you feel like doing something in this holiday season, again, there's no obligation. I am just slightly embarrassed by it, although I I am enjoying my little surprises and such. So again, nobody is obliged to go there and purchase anything, but if you are so inclined, it is greatly appreciated, and thank you in advance. Um, I am just slightly embarrassed by that list, but not so much, but slightly. Black Queen says, Baron, I told you, I told that old hag off a long time ago when she was talking trash about how Meghan was looking for attention from Oprah when she sent her that basket. She said, nobody likes her. I told her. And with that, um, I'm trying to think. Oprah had a favorite thing, and I think it was Barbara Streisand sent Oprah a basket with, I think it was muffins or something. And Oprah said, I was trying to stay on my diet. I was minding my business and I was making my dry toast and something she said. And then all of a sudden, there was a delivery and it was a basket with such and such and such in it. And it's one of my favorite things now. Uh, People of that status, if you will, do stuff like that for each other all the time. And when Oprah chooses to talk publicly about it, oh well, that happens all the time. Does anybody have a clue how often Oprah sends a basket of something that she loves to someone she loves? And likewise, people send her stuff. So the idea that Meghan was pushing in on someone, Meghan is the most influential woman in the world alive today. And it's going to stay that way for a long time. And as such, Meghan is in the circles of these people who can amplify their voices greater than the average person today. And that's just the way it is. Whatever Meghan wears sells. Whatever she does is a huge curiosity to one and all, even the people who say they don't like her or hate her or suspicious of her. That's just a fact. So it doesn't matter that someone says, oh, Meghan is trying to, she doesn't have to try, she just does. She just does. There's the days of trying stuff that ended years ago for her. I mean, no matter how she got to where she is or what the circumstances was, the point is she's here. Just like with anybody else in that royal family. We could debate about the merits of them being where they are, but they are there and people are eager to please them or meet them or whatever. And that's just a fact. So, tell them off. Keep telling them off. And you know what? To anybody who has risked Facebook jail or whatever jail, hats off to you. Thanks for taking one for the team. I don't recommend, but I totally understand. And sometimes, as they say, there's more room out than in. So sometimes we have to let out our feelings in order to sustain our health and well-being. So thank you, Black Queen. Let's see here. S has a super sticker. Thank you so much for that, S. And also thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Sunday to you. And thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Let me see. Hello, Anfu, Bless Baron, and all loyal worldwide Sussex squaddies. Yeah, you know what, Anfu? Have you noticed that Sussex Squad is being mentioned a lot these days? I think they were hoping to try to use the Sussex Squad as like a weapon against the Sussexes, as though we're some type of subversive group that has nefarious ideas in mind, when the truth is, we're just individuals who are supporting the most influential couple in the world nowadays, the most influential royals, that is, as well. And we don't know each other. I certainly, don't know anybody in the squad. We're just here because of a common goal, and that's it. We're not part of some large organized group of individuals who have evil in mind. We're just here to uplift and support the Sussexes, and that's all. That's what we have in common. That's what we've been doing for a long time, and we will continue to do that. And I say, as so many others have said so many times, that if there was a Sussex Squad for Princess Diana, she'd still be here today. We would have been able to lend some sort of protection to her greater than the absolutely no protection she had at all, because there was nobody out there able to call out these evildoers. Diana was pretty much by herself. People had love and concern and such from afar, but there just wasn't that type of organization, or lack of organization, if you will, that could lend protection to Diana. And therefore, she was left vulnerable to the institution, to the tabloid media. But as you know, there's something called social media, there's something called the World Wide Web. And now we are able to speak up and speak out and use our voices to call out the evildoers. So thank God for that. Legs has a super chat. If you have children, RSV is really big in the schools. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. My son wears his mask and still got it. My wife got it from him. Also, the flu is bad too. Yes, and that's why I say just take precautions, you guys. Little precautions. Again, I had like a little respiratory something going on, and I think the worst of it is behind me, hopefully. But they are saying that some places you can't even find children's Tylenol. You can't even find cough syrup in some places, that all this stuff is selling out. So, um, you know, just take precautions. That's all I can say. Thank you so much, Legs. And thank you for the super chat. And, let's all go back to washing our hands more thoroughly. For years, I've had the habit of washing my hands every time I come into the house. And it doesn't matter whose house it is. The first thing I want to do is go and wash my hands. And, I think all of these things, if you do them as a matter of habit, then it helps a lot. So thank you again, Legs. And let's see. Shanta Williams has a super sticker. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Sunday to you, and thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. All right. Now, let's get to the slides. Then I noticed today. Ooh, okay, this looks interesting. Beth Lewis says, there's something I noticed one day. William lust after Meghan. If people really pay attention, and Harry gave him a look, and I think that Kate may be in love with Harry. Well, that is what they say. And as we know, they are never wrong. B10 Pal, 10 months membership. Congratulations, B10. Thank goodness I got my other screen open. Otherwise, I wouldn't have noticed that. If I have missed any, I do apologize, but it doesn't show up on the screen that I use for the live stream. And so if I don't catch it on the other screen, if I just happen to look the other way, then I won't see it. So thank you so much. But yeah, thanks again, B10. That is great. Thank you. 10 months membership. What a friend we have in B10. 10 months of membership. Oh, man. Well, you can tell I'm in a good mood. Maybe that's because Harry and Meghan is number one. All right, so top 10 shows in South Africa, Harry and Meghan. Top 10 shows on Netflix, Harry and Meghan. Wait, did I miss it? Oh, yeah, UK, top 10. There you go. So top 10 in the UK, South Africa, United States. Oh, let's see. Oh, B10. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And thank you for being a member. Happy Sunday. So, yes, Sussex, not Royal Sussex, Harry and Meghan, number one on Netflix. Now, I share my Netflix with my family, and one of my family members told me, he's like, I don't want to be on there if I know that you're on there. But I'm like, listen, I got the premium package from Netflix, and I think everybody that is using my account can watch at the same time. And I've had my Netflix account, I guess, since maybe 2010, 2011. And even though I have had those long periods where I don't watch it, I'm just glad to know that my family is watching it at any given time. So, and plus, I kind of feel like I'm supporting the arts, right? Because they do a lot of, programs that I love. Emily in Paris. What else? And of course, Bridgerton. I love that. And a few other programs. So, and they've had some great documentaries other than Sussex's and a few things that I've watched over the years. So I'm glad to have it. I don't mind supporting it. Better to support something that I can watch anywhere, anytime, any place than back in the old days when you would have cable. If you didn't watch it, you just didn't watch it. Or if you would like save something to your whatever, you'd have to watch it at home. But nowadays, of course, the streaming services, we get more choice and we have better control over the type of content that we support. So I'm glad for it. I have enjoyed Netflix, Prime, and also the HBO, Disney. I've enjoyed all of those. And when I do watch them, they're there. If I don't watch them, then the rest of my family watches it. Okay. Jocelyn Young has a super chat. Hello, Baron. I looked over series for Harry and Meghan. And let me see. What does it say here? I do not see a tweet, neither a text about that hog head anywhere in the beginning of the story. I think they used his voice for part of it. Yeah, I think they used a voice for him. And someone said, I didn't see it myself, but someone said that he has suffered trauma because he heard his voice used somewhere in the Netflix docu-series for Harry and Meghan. I don't know, but with him, there's no such thing as bad publicity. He loves to insert himself into any and every conversation. Piers Morgan is just like Donald Trump, a professional victim and of course a huge opportunist anytime, place, or whatever that he can insert himself in something. He's usually glad to do it. That's usually the mark of someone who doesn't have any discernible talent other than playing the victim and inserting themselves in things that in a very tepid and loosely based way may have anything to do with them. I mean, they're so far removed from the equation that they're almost non-existent. By the way, thank you, Jocelyn Young, for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And And Legs has another super chat. I love the cover picture. There, Harry and Meghan sit in love, unbothered by the hate from the derangers. It is like they are laughing at the derangers. Let me see. Take the L. Let me see. L is for take a. I'm so sorry. I don't know what that means. Take the L. Or is it take the L train? No. I'm sure it's something provocative. I'm just not sure what it is. But anyway, thank you, Legs, and thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Sunday to you. Okay, now there's a hog head that is not Pierce Morgan. You know what? This guy's head is filling. This is like HD 70 millimeter. I mean, his head is getting bigger and bigger. I don't know how he holds his head up, honestly. I don't know what part of the human anatomy thank you. L is for loser. Got it. Thank you. Speaking of losers, have you guys met Paul Burrell? Paul Burrell was the butler for Princess Diana. And before that, he worked for Charles and Diana. So when Charles and Diana split, he had a choice of which household that he would go to. And of course, he went with Diana. I mean, he just went with Diana. I was going to say something, but I didn't. I am self-filtering here. So he went with Diana. This man holds a lot of secrets. He knows everything there is to know about Charles. I'm pretty sure he knows a lot about Michael Forsythe. And of course, he knows a lot about Diana. I mean, let's face it, he was in the thick of it and he's seen a lot. And he says what he wants to say. Some things you can tell is somewhat invented, or that he's taking license. A lot of it is loosely based on the truth, not absolutely. Hi, Claire Keynes. Just watched you last night. Thank you so much for the great work that you're doing. And also thank you for being here today. Happy Sunday to you. So let me tell you another side of Paul Burrell. I've touched upon this before. Let me do it again. This was in The Independent, by the way. Royal butler stole Diana's clothes at 3:30 a.m. palace visit. Is that at or in? Let me see. In. Okay. It was in. In 3:30 a.m. palace visit, the former royal butler, Paul Burrell, made a pre-dawn trip to Kensington Palace shortly after the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, to take away some of her clothes and valuables, the Old Bailey was told yesterday. Mr. Burrell, who is accused of amassing more than 300 items belonging to the princess, the Prince of Wales, and Prince William, was seen emerging from an alley at 3:30 a.m. shortly after her death, carrying 2 evening dresses and a mahogany box. He had reversed his Ford Escort close to an entrance of the luxury apartments, the prosecution alleged. Well, there's a lot more to this. And if you, Google that headline, Royal Butler Stole Diana's Clothes in 3:30 a.m. Palace Visit, you'll find the entire thing in The Independent. Now, the only thing that saved Paul Burrell was the Queen. The Queen never lies, right? The Queen has been honest and forthright. And most of all, the Queen is above the law. At least she was in life above the law. Well, the Queen, in order to save Paul Burrell and to save Prince Charles, who Paul Burrell has many a secret, This was what happened next. The Queen recalled, you know how they say recollections may vary? Well, the Queen recalled a conversation that she had with Paul Burrell, where she asked him to take a few items of Diana's from her house for safekeeping. Now, there's a big difference between a few items and more than 300 items, like her Versace gown, like personal letters, underwear, or her nappies, if not nappies, but her you know intimate garments, among other things that was taken from the apartment in Kensington Palace that belonged to Princess Diana. Now, with Diana dying, um, and then 3:30 a.m. somebody shows up and carts away a bunch of her belongings. I mean, literally, the boot of his car was dragging the ground. Sparks are flying up all over Kensington Palace's courtyard as he made quick his getaway. Now, if it wasn't for the Queen, this guy would have gone away for a long time. When the police raided his house, they found items of Diana in the cupboards, in the attic, under the beds, all over the place. And this is a house that he shared with his wife when he was still into women, that he shared with his children when he was still into women. But then, of course, it wasn't until later on that he admitted that he was gay. And so, who cares what his sexual preference is? But it speaks volumes of his ability to be a bit of a chameleon when he chooses to be. And so, what is the point that I'm making here? Well, how much credibility does he have to say that Princess Diana would be furious with Harry and Meghan, which is what he's mentioned on the Lorraine show, that the Diana would be furious with Harry and Meghan. I would think that Diana would be furious with her butler for hauling away 300 of her personal items which eventually, of course, would belong to Harry and that very dull Prince William. Clothing, underwear. What value was Princess Diana's underwear that he would need to cart her belongings away? So the fact that the British television and the tabloids, they keep finding a reason to put this man on television. I doubt if the Sussexes are going to bring him up in the docu-series and speak directly about him. But this is one very, very creepy person. Was he dressing up in her clothes? Was that the point of it? Was to dress up in Diana's gowns and play patty cakes with his wife throughout the night? What was the point of it? What purpose did it serve for you to grab 300 plus items with lipstick stains and perfume still in the fabric? The smell of Diana's perfume in the fabric, that didn't creep his wife out at all? Or are they just two of a kind? This man has zero credibility, and yet he keeps popping up on British television to disparage the Sussexes. First he understood them, first he was for them, and now he's against them. He was against Prince Charles. He had some pretty nasty things to say about Charles. And of course, if you guys recall, this is the same Paul Burrell who said that Prince Charles rang him, or was it Prince Charles, the member of the family, rang him to come to his quarters and pick up a piece of paper that was on the floor when the waste paper basket was right there by his foot. And this leads me to another point. Is it true that Paul Burrell caused so much embarrassment for Charles at the time when they were promoting the crown, that now he feels like, in order to court favor to get back into the royal family good graces, now he has switched sides again, and he's gone after the Sussexes even deeper with this assertion that Princess Diana would be terribly upset if she knew that the Sussexes were actually doing something like this. She would be furious. She would. According to Paul Burrell, the Sussexes are somehow violating the royal family, and Diana would be totally against it. Yes, Princess Panorama interviewed Diana would be against the Sussexes speaking out for their own well-being, speaking out for their own safety, speaking out for the future of their children. Yes, I could imagine Diana would be slightly ticked off about that and very angry at Harry for speaking his mind and speaking his truth. Now, Diana wanted to speak the truth so much that she was willing to risk her life. She knew what the risk was, but she did it anyway because she wanted it to be a matter of public record what they had done to her and how she was mistreated. And Harry also wants this to be a matter of public record. But again, I say, it's a different time, a different day, and Harry is in a different country. And even though you have the media, the legacy media in the United States that doesn't seem to want to report the truth with the Sussexes where they're concerned, it doesn't mean that they are defeated. As a matter of fact, we are just getting started. We're only just getting started. The Docu-Series is just a small part of a much greater plan, and time will tell whether or not Paul Burrell has chose the right side. But either way, this is a very negative, nasty individual whose head has overgrown his body, whose mouth is shrinking into some little shrill pouch of flesh. And he just totally disgusts me. He's another hog head, just like that Piers Morgan. Disgusting. Now, changing gears just a bit. That's the wrong one. Okay, so this lady had a comment about Meghan's documentary, which I'd like to share with you guys. And anyway, there's, for everybody who seems to not get it. By the way, today is Rita Moreno, EGOT winner's 91st birthday. But for everyone who doesn't seem to get it, there are so many more people who totally understand. So I hope this sound works. Be prepared to adjust your sound, and I will share that audio with you guys.
Just some thoughts on Meghan Markle and Harry Styles' new documentary. I think people going mad about it today in the British tabloid press is because the UK does not like and has never liked women that like themselves, women that have autonomy, women that are confident, women that are sure of themselves. You see it in the documentary early on when she talks about when she dated Harry and he was late, and she was like, I don't like that. I'm not standing for that. Somebody that's late, I'm not standing for that. That is somebody that has a level of self-esteem and self-respect, that knows their worth, that knows their place, and won't be skewed by other people's behaviours. And I think in the UK, we are brought up with this class system, and the class system exists. And the reason that it still exists is because we stay in our lane. That's that whole idea of stay in your lane, tall poppy syndrome. It's a joke that I did that I posted recently on TikTok. Stay in your lane, know your place. Don't try and put your head above the parapet, because the system works by people staying in their lane. And what she has done, she's come along and the curtsy thing, she's gone, do you know what? No, I don't need to curtsy. This is ridiculous. Why are you guys all doing this? That's why everyone's so angry, because we've always been taught that if you work hard, if you play your role, that life will reward you with a roof over your head, with a nice life. You can have a house. You can go on holiday once a year. And we're seeing with the current cost of living crisis, that's no longer the case. Doesn't matter how hard you work. You still need to do the extra hours. But before it was to go on holiday, now it's to fucking heat a room in your house and decide which room to heat, which room to turn the heating on. Playing the game doesn't serve us anymore. And you're getting angry about it. Now the Queen's dead, there is going to be more eyes on why do we still have a royal family? Who is this serving? Who is this benefiting? And the papers are making sure that don't you dare to keep things as they are. Keep things as they are, keep things as they are, keep things as they are. Look how awful she is, look how awful she's not awful, she's just a truth teller. She's just a truth teller. She's looking at us all going, guys, the Emperor's naked. The Emperor's naked. What are you doing? And the press hates that. The press hates that. So as well as the racism and the element of classism, there is so much misogyny in this. It's unreal. It's unreal. So they're my thoughts on Meghan Markle and Harry. And I wish them all the love and luck in the world. As to any...
Excuse me. So she wishes them all the love and luck in the world, as to any couple who, et cetera, et cetera. So that's it. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. A truth teller. And Meghan stands for truth. Harry stands for truth. They are trying to shame Harry with the declaration of his disloyalty to the homeland. And with Meghan, they are trying to paint her as the social climber who didn't fit in. So now she's exacting her revenge on them in some kind of way or something. You know what? The rationale changes by the day. That's just another version of what they think the Sussexes are doing or what they up to or whatever. It constantly changes. But at the root of it is Harry met Meghan. They fell in love. They have each other. They have a life in Montecito, California, where there are no leaks. There are no leaks. Netflix, among others, Spotify, and whatever investments they have, Harry's job with Better Up. Harry has a book coming. Meghan, I'm pretty sure, has a future in publishing. They're going to be okay. But they still have a right to tell their story. And also at the root of it is there will be no protection for them if they do not tell their story. This has to be a matter of public record. And as long as there's a Sussex Squad, we are going to save receipts. We are going to set the record straight whenever we are able to do so. And we will call out people when necessary. And you don't have to be a squaddie to do that. There are other people who are not in the squad who have just as effectively called out that family. Like, of course, our dear friend, the professor. Oh gosh, I forgot her name. Professor Melissa Murray. Professor Melissa Murray. I don't know if she's a squaddie or not, but she certainly support the Sussexes. So that's good enough for me. That is good enough for me. So Professor Murray is on television. She, is in a great position to defend them, and whenever possible, she will do just that. And she's not the only one. There are others. And in a kind of roundabout way, you do have on morning television Oprah's good girlfriend, Gail. So, there's other people. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to even try to name them all. They will come to me over time. But the point is, they're not alone, and we got their back. So there is voice of reason out there, and there are more people in the UK that are either supportive of the Sussexes or casually just don't care for the royal family And of course, that is the majority of people. It's not as though everybody in the UK has an in for the Sussexes. It's not even most people. That's what the tabloids want people to believe, is that everybody's got it in for Harry and Meghan. And that's just not true. The UK has a lot of decent, hardworking people who, don't spend their time trying to defend everybody, because they got to work and support their families and maintain a household. I don't expect them to take to the streets. But for those who cannot seem to keep the Sussexes out of their mouth, for those who seem to want to attack them at every turn, we will be here to call them out. So, keyboard warriors. Anyway, let me take a look at a couple of these comments. Okay, HH says all these hateful people are despicable, and if you ask them why, they do feel the way they don't. Okay, answer. They effing don't have an answer. Absolutely. Let me see. The Anita Baker also put a shout out to Harry and Meghan on Twitter, and people were going wild. Really? I did not know that. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that. I'm going to have to look for it. Let's see. Is racism, sexism, and class system, but it's also anti-American, but they know better than to come right out and attack that is Americans. So they are using Meghan as their anti-Americanism. Cheryl W., that is quite a brilliant way to put that, is that they can cloak their anti-Americanism with an anti-Meghan trope, I guess. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I was a little dehydrated. Okay. So, let me see. Mary H says, I've noticed views are changing about the Sussexes. They see Prince Harry and his wife and kids are real happy, living a normal life as parents and family, and seeing Archie and Lily Diana. Thank you for that, Mary H. Okay. Thank you, Colorless. That's right. It's nice to hear someone say something positive about Harry and Meghan. Amen to that. Evelyn Kobu says, wow, this is serious. Very, very shameful to steal from the dead. My goodness, where is the world getting to? Well, I tell you, if that's what happened after Princess Diana died, who knows how much stuff was walking away while she was still alive. But my God, the idea that within hours, the idea that, wow, within hours. You know what I wonder, though? What have they done with all of the Queen's clothes? Now, the Queen has 70 years of clothes. And in 70 years, there's got to be thousands of outfits. What they do with all that stuff? Are they like warehouse somewhere? Interesting, huh? What did they do with all that stuff? I know a pair of knickers came up at a car boot sale or something that had her initials or her name in them or something. Now, there's no way to authenticate them, but who knows? Maybe she gave stuff away over the years. I don't know. But I would be curious to know, what did they do with all her clothes? Let me see. This man, James O'Brien, was saying he don't know. He don't like Meghan. She's oh, yeah, right. James O'Brien. Oh, let me see. Man was saying that this man was, well, certainly not James O'Brien said that. Oh, okay, it was someone on the show. James asked him how he knows that he said, okay, got it, Bonnie Mighty. I thought you were saying that James O'Brien said he didn't like Meghan, but it was someone who called his show. You know what, Bonnie Mighty, I love James O'Brien, and I love the way that he takes them to task on his show when people say that they're angry. I mean, that they're not angry, and then they turn around and say, I'm just angry. And he's like, I thought you said you weren't angry. Sorry, I misread that, Bonnie Mighty. Thank you so much for your comment. All right, so let's move on, shall we? Now, right here, a reminder that less than 1 in 66 Brits buy the Daily Mail on any given day. The Daily Mail does not speak for or represent Britain. It does not represent Britain. Got it? A reminder, less than 1 in 66. So let's say the number is 66 million people in Britain. Well, that's still a million papers that are sold in one day. Still a lot, but less than 1 in 66. So let's look at the numbers below. National newspaper circulation in August 2022 with monthly and yearly changes. This page will be updated monthly. National news brand circulation. Metro, which is free, has 986,226. And they're down, 7%. Daily Mail, 805,467. And they're down 12%. Mail on Sunday, they're down 13%. And the Evening Standard, which is free, is down 12%. Now notice that the Evening Standard and the Metro are right there on par with the Daily Fail. The Metro exceeding the Daily Fail, and the Evening Standard about 200,000 per day below the Daily Fail. Or is that per month? Anyway, as you can see, the Fail, even though they do charge money, they still have less readers than the Metro and just slightly more than the Evening Standard. So in terms of publishing a physical newspaper, they're not doing well. Well, the publishing industry is dying anyway, but I think these numbers reflect that their audience, their readers, their demographic is dying, which means those who support the royal family, the real royalists, the staunch royalists, are also dying. And pretty soon, within the next 20 or 30 years, by the time William gets to the throne, well, William may get to the throne, let's say in 15, 20 years, maybe 15 years, so many more of those royalists would have already been dead and buried, and that would be so fewer people that actually will support that monarchy. You too, huh? Annie Bullard says, lettering too small for me to read. I'll take your word for it, Baron. Yeah, me too. Okay, Christopher Bosey says, this person diagnosed Meghan from watching the documentary and suggests Harry and Meghan were responsible for Prince Philip's and Queen Elizabeth's deaths. I just can't. All right. I did not watch that program, which is on GBN, but it doesn't surprise me that someone would have the nerves to say, or as Dr. Scholler would say, that someone would have the caucasity to say that Harry and Meghan were responsible for the death of a 99-year-old man who had been suffering from heart problems for years, and a 96-year-old woman who may or may not have died from who knows what. Yes, blame the Sussexes. Now, if it was up to the tabloid media, Harry and Meghan would say nothing about anything that they suffered through until Philip died. Remember, Philip is 90. Let me see. Philip is 90. Oh gosh, wait. How did they say that? Oh yeah. The Philip. Oh no. Okay, I got it. The Queen is 95. No, one more time. Philip. Wait, I got this. It was what the tabloids were saying. Um, the Queen is 94 and Philip's in hospital. Every time the Sussexes say or do something, it was the Queen is 94 and Philip's in hospital. And then when Philip died, it was the Queen is 95 and Philip's just died. The Queen is 95 and Philip's just died. So you had that period where Philip was in and out the hospital, so they shouldn't say anything. They shouldn't, speak their truth. Then, of course, when Philip died, then it was like, oh, Philip just died. Do you have to speak your truth now? Can't you just wait? And now it's the Queen has just died. How dare they speak their truth? After all, the Queen has just died. Okay, can't they just wait before they speak the truth? Now is the Queen has just died and Charles is just months away from his coronation. Can't they wait until after the coronation? Do you see where this is going? Every time they want the Sussexes quiet, someone is old, someone is dying. So now it's the next one is going to be so and so has just what, and Charles is 74. Or maybe the other way around. I'm not wishing anything bad on either one of those, but I'm just saying that the next thing after the coronation is going to be the fact that, oh, well, let me see. One of these people have been ill and the other one was in the hospital. And so is this any time to speak your truth? Or how about someone has gone away for 30, 60 to 90 days and someone else is tending the rose bushes or something? Why don't we find some other excuses other than using age and illness, if you will? Why don't we find some other excuses? Like someone lives in one house and someone else lives in another house, and they have to decide who's going to take the children to school next week. Well, let's find some other excuses why the Sussexes shouldn't tell their story. Oh, man. Anyway, but you get what I'm saying. They always have some excuse why the Sussexes should not tell their truth. Now, speaking of truth, some people actually believe that it wasn't Harry and Meghan's truth bombs that caused the Queen to slip away from here. Some people believe it wasn't old age. My theory is, now see, don't ask me how I got this, but this is a version of the Queen's death certificate that I had smuggled out of Scotland. And if you notice, they first list old age, and then part B, or the second part of the cause of death, was a £12 million payout, 12 million plus pound settlement for something that her son never did to someone he never met and something that never happened. I repeat, one of the things that took the Queen out of here was having to pay out more than 12 million pounds for something her son never did to somebody he never met and something that certainly didn't happen. But in spite of all of that, someone did call him a sick old man. So that might be one of the things that they should list as a cause of death, is a 12 million plus pound payout. Now, if that ain't enough to take you out of here, I don't know what is. I mean, yes, the Queen had vast resources, but everybody has their limitations. So How about the queen the queen is slipping away because she had to pay 12 plus million pounds today. Why don't we come up with that one? The queen is slipping away. Oh, that's bad. The queen is slipping away because she had to pay 12 plus million pounds today. See, I can rhyme stuff too. If you want somebody to rhyme something, let me have a crack at it. The queen is slipping away because she had to pay 12 plus million pounds today. Oh, Lord, I tell you, I hope Harry and Meghan never watch Royal Sussex. I want them to have plausible deniability. This is why I would probably never receive an invitation to the Sussex family cookout. However, I am speaking my truth. So, 12 million pounds payout is the likely cause. I'm just saying, I'm paraphrasing or something, but yeah. So anyway, let's move on from this before I, lose any privileges with the Sussexes. I'm just going to move on. Yes, check it out, you guys. So these are the recent photos that popped up on the interweb. This is the Sussexes getting down. They are partying like it's 1999. I was dreaming when I wrote that, so sue me if I go too fast. Dun, 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 dun. So, listening to their favorite tunes that was selected by the Sussexes for the sake of the evening, there is a band behind them, which looks like they are into soul music. Very cool choice. And the Sussexes are shaking their groove things. And of course, Harry has gone total Travolta. I mean, just a maniac on the dance floor, which I love these. Absolutely love these. Great, great photos. And Meghan, of course, wearing dress number 2 from the wedding day. A backless halter top. Very cool look for her. Amazing shoulders. Fit, toned, athletic Duchess of Sussex. Fit, toned, athletic Duke of Sussex. What a figure they cut any place they go. The light just agrees with them all the time. And then, of course, this one where they are in close quarters. I wish I could have seen Harry dance. Maybe, just maybe, we may be treated to an actual video of them dancing the night away. That would make like a great Christmas card if you're listening, Harry and Meghan. How about a little bit of that for a Christmas card? And then, of course, there's Sir Elton John. And I don't know who those... Oh, is that Nisa Nunu, or whatever, the designer? Nisa No. Yeah, right? And I don't know who anybody else in this photo, but they were very careful with the photos they selected and the backgrounds that were available. And someone made an illustration on the left side, so I had to hunt around and find the proper photo so that I can match the photo with the illustration so you can see the comparison. So I think I've captured just the right scale. So I had to crop the photo on the left just so that it would make sense with the photo on the right. But if you want to see the comparison, there you have it. Whoever made the illustration did a great job. And now this is one of my favorite things. And a very dear friend of the Sussexes, and of course, the Sussex Squad, my dear friend, Zelensky, whatever UA means, Zelensky, Ukraine, a well-deserved. Okay, you are a hero to so many. It has been the honor of a lifetime that with World Central Kitchen, I have worked side by side with you and the people of Ukraine, bringing hope one plate of food at a time. So that is from Chef Jose and Andreas. Yes, Chef Jose Andreas. Well, this happened December 8th. And because of everything that's been going on with the Sussexes, didn't have a chance to share it. But there you can see the two of them have met up in Ukraine. Now, Chef Andreas has nearly lost his life because one of the food depots was damaged by, I believe it was a Russian missile. So there you have it. He's within harm's way, but he's doing the work that he loves so much. So you never know where in the world Chef Andreas is going to pop up next, but wherever there's hungry people, he tends to go there. There is a much larger crisis looming in the Horn of Africa. So I don't know if World Central Kitchen is partaking in that, but it is a monumental problem, and hopefully someday they will. Speaking of the Horn of Africa, Misan Harriman, a message from that is a message for the press. I would love to be interviewed on this matter as soon as possible. So I'll let you hear his words.
Hey, since appearing on the Harry Meghan show, I've had, unsurprisingly, a lot of requests to come on TV and radio to speak about it. I won't be speaking about my friends, but I would love that same energy affording me space on TV shows to have me come onto those shows and come onto those shows to speak about one thing, and that's the hunger crisis in the Horn of Africa. I would love to have those same invitations to come on to ITV, to Newsnight, to speak to the New York Times, and many more about the fact that at least 1.8 million children under the age of 5 are at the stage of acute malnutrition, and only one thing comes after that, and it's potentially the biggest loss of life of children on the planet. If I could get on these shows and talk about it, then maybe more regular people will know, and we can do what we always do when we know, which is, in earnest, the right thing. Let us not fail these children because 99% of us do not know what's happening. 4 years of drought, climate change, hyperinflation because of Ukraine, the Ukraine war, and wheat prices. These kids, they were born into a hellscape, and it's all they've ever known. And the scariest thing about this potential mass loss of life is that it really is utterly preventable. I'm working as an ambassador for Save the Children. I've seen the work on the ground that they're doing with other charities and aid workers. I'm still lobbying the government to do more. But the press, I need you to give this the attention it deserves. So, if you would like to interview me, I remain at your disposal. Thank you.
Well, that was powerful. And I tell you, Misan Harriman really needs to do voiceover. As a matter of fact, lending his voice to this crisis would definitely wake people up. But yeah, lending his voice to this crisis would definitely wake people up. There is so much that needs to be done. And thank God that through his lens and through his voice and his advocacy, he's able to shed light on this because, as he said, there's only 1% of the people in the world that seems to know that there is a problem. And for all of the investment that China is making in Africa these days, for all the wealth that is being extracted from China, that is from Africa by China and by the United States, by France and Spain and any other former colonial power, by Britain. There's so much wealth that has been extracted from Africa. If they could give some of that wealth back, that would be very helpful. Especially, as he said, the grain prices have increased because there were a lot of Africans who depended upon grain from Ukraine. And with the hyperinflation the way it is today, then of course there's a lot of people that are struggling. And this has been going on, brewing for like years, and now it's worse than ever because everything is so much more expensive. So thank you, Misan Harriman. More than just a talented photographer, but also a great humanitarian, I say, and very much overlooked. Shelley L says, the story in my head, Harry and Meghan have loved each other over the thousands of lives. We were lucky enough to be able to witness them finding each other in this one. Let me see. Their family follows trying to kill their love. Yeah. Their family has tried to end their love, tried to prevent the wedding, have tried to prevent them from earning money or working with people, trying to prevent them from having any type of rival lifestyle to that of the royal family. And all of it, they have failed again and again, but they keep trying because they're convinced that Harry is their possession. Harry is like this appendage that has brought them good luck. And whenever that appendage offends, they're ready to cut it off. But in the meantime, Harry is in the prime of his life, and the Cambridge children are too young to actually go out and make a difference as senior royals. So until they grow up, which is, going to be a long period of time before they're able to start doing these royal duties. But then again, they may start them early as teenagers. But whatever the case may be, if they would just leave Harry and Meghan alone, let them tell their story, and then stay out of their way so they can do some good in this world and stop trying to prevent them from doing so. Call off your dogs, call out the people that are attacking the charities that the Sussexes support. And then I'm pretty sure all of this will cease to mean anything, and everybody can go back to running their business. But in the meantime, until they leave the Sussexes alone, until they apologize properly for their misdeeds, then there will be this rival court, as long as they try to outshine them. There's going to be this rivalry, and the royal family is going to keep losing because they are so on the wrong side of history. Thank you so much, Shelley L., for the super chat. And also thank you so much for your constant support for this channel. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Well, I thought I smelled gin and regret. Do you guys know, just released, Charles released his first Christmas card as king. And there is a picture of him and his emotional support, Camilla, that just came over the wire. Interesting. Excuse me. Very interesting. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. You know what? That's the graphic on the screen. I thought I took that away. All right, you guys, let's continue. I got a few more things to share. Let's talk about Blackamoor, shall we? The Blackamoor Gate. Blackamoor Gate. Did I just create a new one? Blackamoor Gate. Queen Camilla can be herself in a royal home. Well, what royal home is this? Why, is Clarence House, right? I believe this is Clarence House, or is this Highclere? I think it's Clarence House. Well, either way, every day that they are living in that particular property, the king and queen, Queen Camilla, the queen consort, King Charles's emotional support, Camilla, wakes up every day to a blackamoor statue lamp. That is tacky. God, that is tacky. But anyway, that is in one of their posh homes, their shabby chic homes. As a matter of fact, this is what I spoke about yesterday. There is Kensington Palace, and there is Kate trying to have a conversation with Michelle Obama. So you have Kate having a conversation or attempting to have a conversation with a double Ivy League graduate first lady, Michelle Obama. Double Ivy League. Double Ivy League. And she has to sit there and mutter through a conversation with Kate. God help us. And then, of course, there's Barack Obama, graduate of the Harvard Law School, speaking to another person who has a liberal arts degree. You know, the Cambridges have liberal arts degrees, so that makes them an authority on everything. So Barack Obama is sitting there trying to have an intelligent conversation with William, when the person they came to visit was actually Prince Harry, but because of rank and protocol, instead of meeting with Harry in one of the many rooms of the palace, notwithstanding Nottingham Cottage, they end up stuck over there in the Cambridge apartment. Now, I want you guys to notice something. The red circle, that is the slave painting in the background. So rather than take the painting down, they moved the lamp in a very awkward position. The lamp is in front of a planter on the, I guess that's a bureau or bookshelf or whatever it is, in front of the painting. The lamp is supposed to go on a table to the side of the painting to balance or equal the position of the other lamp. You see that? But no, they put it there in the middle instead of off to the side. What did they put on the side? They put a chair on the side, and that lamp is supposed to conceal the slave that's in the painting. However, you can clearly see the slave just above the lamp. I guess they thought that it wouldn't be noticed, but well, but here is the painting. You could see it here up close, and you could also see it there. Now, this is a very dapper slave, but he is dressed in fine clothing. Maybe he was a favorite of the master, but it is a slave painting. As a matter of fact, slave is in the title. And of course, they declare that there were no slaves in Britain, but there certainly were. Not as large scale, of course, as in the colonies, but there were people who, in all but name, were slaves. Some were paid, some were not paid, some were paid less, and believe it or not, some of them were paid equal, and maybe even a sprinkle here and there were paid more because of their loyal service and fondness from their masters. But whatever the case may be, there is a slave painting in the background when the Cambridges met with the Obamas. The very "we are not a racist family" Cambridges. Martin Luther Cambridge, that old Martin Luther Cambridge, he don't like cotton. He don't like cotton. Oh, man. Anything but take it away, right? Shelly L says, now, you know those two talked long crap on the way back to the White House. Michelle probably said, I just didn't understand. I don't know. Well, does she speak English? Barack Obama probably said, Michelle, what language was she speaking? Was it English? Michelle. I've never attempted a Barack Obama impersonation, and I'm pretty sure that one was kind of bad. But and then, of course, Michelle probably said, I think it was Elizabethan English. I don't know. Maybe it was Elizabethan English. Well, anyway, here you have two of the most well-educated presidents and first ladies in the history of the United States. I think combined, they're probably the best educated, followed by the Clintons, and then, of course, I'm not sure after that. But either way, what a travesty! What a huge, awful situation that they were forced to have to speak to them. So anyway, thank you so much, Shelly L, for the super chat, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And then, you guys, I just found this today. Now, one of the squaddies posted the photo on the left side. See that little small one where Princess Margaret with the two Blackamoor statues? And so that caused me to dig a little deeper, and I found this larger image of her apartment. Now, let me just say this. I love that apartment. I think it is exquisite. Wedgwood blue is the color. Wedgwood blue. Gorgeous apartment. Mid-century lamp on the table. Gorgeous. And then, of course, you get to the Blackamoor statues. The thing is, I think in terms of art, the Blackamoor statues are pretty tacky. They are pretty tacky. I think that they're artfully rendered. I think that if they were not made that way, you know what I mean? If they were authentic African art, that would definitely make a difference. But the fact that they are layered in gold infantilizes the images of these figures, and that's when they become a bit tacky. So, oh, man. But yeah, it's a beautiful apartment. I love the color scheme, but it's just too bad that it's, it has those statues in it. But, Margaret didn't know better. Margaret was just a product of her time, raised by her Edwardian parents, and of course their Edwardian Victorian grandparents, and that was what they thought was appropriate. Bed knobs and broomsticks, they're the ones who occupy that space. So they probably just took away one symbol of racism and colonialism and replaced it with another. Or, and they have a vast amount of furnishings that are available. They don't own most of these pieces of furniture. They are part of the royal collection, so you can go to Granny's attic and pick and choose what you want for your flat. And of course, the most famous Blackamoor incident of recent years is this person. And that, of course, is Princess Markle of Kent. I'm not going to go into it really deep. We've discussed Princess Markle of Kent at length. But of course, the day she was supposed to meet Meghan, she went gunning for her with that Blackamoor brooch. Out of all the pieces of tacky jewelry she has, that's the one that she wanted people to see on the way to Buckingham Palace. This was no accident. Now, I spoke about this yesterday. This is the Cliveden House. This is a grade 1 listed property that is a hotel now, but this is a fine country manor house, and it is called the Cliveden. And this is where Meghan and Doria stayed before the wedding. And you may remember that famous scene where they stepped from the car into this beautiful palace. There, on the left side, it says, Royal Author Phil Dampier blasts the hotel's decision saying Cliven were lucky enough to play such a lovely role in the wedding, so the timing couldn't have been worse. It beggars belief. The hotel visitor, the son, I think, is highly offensive. Cliveden now has an association with Meghan as it's where she stayed before getting married. So it's just as inappropriate as Princess Michael's episode. Of course, he's speaking of Princess Michael of Kent. So what he's referring to is what I said yesterday. Those statues that are not even at the main entrance of a house, they lead to the garden. Those statues were taken away under the guise of restoration when when Meghan and her mother arrived at the house. They were taken away before that, and then as soon as the wedding was over, and as soon as they had covered those statues with a new layer of gold leafing and ebony paint, they were replaced. Now, I do think that given the role that the house has played in the Sussex's lives, that something like that, this relic from the past or relics from the past, may have been removed forever, but instead these very Egyptian-like figures were replaced. They were put back in place, and so the guests still have an opportunity to see them. So take a look on the right side. The woman on the right side, she is a content creator who was actually, she's done a story there at Cliveden House, and I just randomly found her when I was trying to put together today's slides. Obviously, she had a good time. I mean, from the way she's smiling and everything, surely she was treated very well. And the whole point of this is not to say that because you have these statuaries anywhere about your property, because you have decorated your home with these pieces, that makes you a bad person. But it is something that is a remnant of the past, something that probably belongs in a museum instead of living quarters, something that seems to be quite cherished by the aristocracy. But in spite of that, it doesn't mean that as an African descent person that you're going to have an awful time because of that. But some people may take exception to the sight of them, and it may prove to be very hurtful. But yeah, it's just one of those things from the history of Britain's colonial and slave past that people live with every day. And if you go into these homes of the aristocracy, you're going to find them everywhere. So who knows how many hundreds of years that statuary may have been out there. But I think the Blackamoor history goes back about 300 years. I think that's when it became a thing, was about 300 years ago. I want to say possibly during the Regent period, or maybe it predates the Regency. But yeah, that's when it comes in. And so apparently for now, it is here to stay. All right, speaking of here to stay, I made the decision to let my kids live with their grandparents because I didn't trust babysitters to be with my children. I signed adoption papers. Their father and I could not get along, so we decided it would be best for their stability. Isn't there a song called Cry Me a River? Art imitates life. Cry me a river. Well, cry me a river, Sammy. Now, there's a lock on her account, but someone who is involved with Samantha has done some screenshots, and this is what's come out of it. So just goes to show you can't trust anybody nowadays. But so let me just say, this is alleged because I had no way to verify this, because I can't get into her account to see the actual tweet. But let me just say, this is alleged. Until we know better, I'm just going to say this may or may not be true. But if it is Samantha's words, I guess it speaks volumes. Church Nelly, I am not paying you no attention. However, because I love you so much, Church Nelly, let me share a couple of lines from one of my favorite movies, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. By the way, did you know we have rats in the cellar? You aren't ever going to sell this house. You aren't ever going to leave it either. Do you remember that line from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Betty Davis was deep in her method acting. And as a character, Baby Jane Hudson, she created a word. Instead of saying you are not, she said yarn't. You aren't ever going to sell this house. You aren't ever going to leave it either. By the way, do you know we have rats in the cellar? Anyway, that's for you, Church Nelly. But as I was saying, this may or may not be true until I can authenticate it from her actual Twitter account. I just have to say anyone could have wrote this. This may not have necessarily come from Samantha. But if it is true, I guess it explains a lot about her character. You aren't ever going to sell this house. You aren't ever going to leave it either. You aren't. You aren't. Okay. And as always, one of my favorite people in the world has nothing to do with anything today, but I just can't let a day go by without bringing her up because I just adore her so much because of, well, I just adore her so much. She has managed to articulate what a lot of people feel about Wadey Katie. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up occasionally, you know, like every day. I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up, which is interesting because I don't even know what remiss means, but I know I would probably be remiss if I didn't bring this up on a daily basis. And so me being the gentleman that I am, and you all being the ladies and gentlemen that you are, why it would behoove me again, I don't know what that means either, but it would behoove me. It may even not even be in proper context, but it would behoove me to not share with you that which I have valued so much, because you aren't ever going to hear this anyplace else. And you aren't ever going to not hear it if you're watching Royal Sussex. You aren't. So oh, man. All right. Hit it. Oh, wait.
Demographics. One of the reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say old people and men, she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is. Right.
One more time.
Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is. Right.
man. And that is why Catherine is so popular, because she's an old-fashioned mute woman who doesn't complain, who doesn't say anything. That's another word, made up word, not anything, but anything. She doesn't say anything. She's what you refer to as an old-fashioned mute woman. I love this woman. Does she have a GoFundMe? Does she have a GoFundMe or a PayPal or anything? Because I want to make sure that she's kept in the comfort that she deserves for having articulated what so many people have been feeling. So the king and the government have refused to support an MP's effort to change the law to allow the monarch to strip royal titles from members of the royal family. King Charles refuses to backplot to axe Harry and Meghan's royal titles. Now, this is according to the Express. And you know what? That's very wise. Leave them alone, and maybe nobody will notice you. It opens up a Pandora's box. And I don't know what that means either. But it opens up a Pandora's box. Whatever that box is that it opens, it means roughly that if you do that, then you're going to say it's okay to start stripping other titles away. And then after a while, people are going to say, well, what are these titles about anyway? And why do we need them? So I say to Charles, you aren't ever going to strip them of their titles. And you aren't ever going to say anything about it either. You aren't. Yarnt. Let me see. How do you spell yarnt? Let me see. Yarnt. How do you think you spell yarnt? Is this it? No. You know what? It don't even have a T. Yarnt. Apostrophe A-R-T. No, I think there's got to be a U in there somewhere. Yarnt. You aren't ever going to sell this house, and you aren't ever going to leave it either. Oh, that's perfect. Joanna, that's perfect. You aren't. I wonder if that's Elizabethan English. You aren't. So you aren't ever going to take those titles away, and you aren't ever going to mention it either. You aren't. You aren't. Oh my God. I love Betty Davis. My favorite actor of all time, or actress, if you will, but my favorite actor of all time, Betty Davis. I think she was absolutely brilliant. Oh, thank you. By the way, did you know we had rats in the cellar? Oh, man. Okay, so this is what Charles needs to concentrate on. Scotland, very soon, within the next year, Scotland is going to motion for independence. Nicola Sturgeon said that she's going to call an election, and the next election that they have for a new government, she's going to use that as a referendum to leave the Union. And Wales would like to have their independence. And of course, Ireland, there's 5 counties in Northern Ireland, or that make up Northern Ireland, who are also pining for independence. This is the decline of that family, no matter what they say. So they can try to make a case against Harry and Meghan all they want. But the problems that they have run awfully deep, and you aren't ever going to solve them by messing with Harry and Meghan. You aren't. So you might as well. Oh, you like that word, huh? You aren't. You aren't ever going to solve your problems messing with Harry and Meghan. You aren't ever going to defeat them either. So you might as well try to concentrate on what's left of that empire where the sun never set. Now the sun is barely there for about 10 minutes, and then it's over Ireland and is headed to New York. So that is what they need to focus on. Leave Harry and Meghan alone, and maybe we'll put in a good word for you when they have the referendum. So the first minister, I pray, Nicola Sturgeon, who goes by the title First Minister, I can't wait until she becomes the Prime Minister of Scotland. Scotland's independence is coming very soon. And let's see, at that point, Charles will still be the King of Scotland, but they will not have to answer to Westminster ever again. There was someone who had a post that said, I would rather be a neighbor to England than a slave to Westminster. So very powerful words. Of course, this is the crown of St. George, I think, or St. Charles, or Charles, whatever crown it is. This is the crown that Charles II wore or should I say, this is the crown that he served under, that he reigned, he used for his reign, for his coronation. And of course, Charles II is the one who helped to establish that company that perpetuated and grew the slave trade. And so it would be mighty interesting if this, let's see, Charles II was the Reformation king, if I'm correct, right? After the Oliver Cromwell 11 years of the loss of the monarchy, when it was restored, Charles II was put on the throne because people were ready for the royal family again. And when that happened, Charles II was crowned with this particular crown. Before that, the crown that they had was melted away, and the jewels were either sold or given back to the families that owned them. Oddly enough, the royals didn't always own the jewels that were in the crown, and the jewels that were in the crown were usually of very poor quality because, of course, back in those days, they didn't have a way to really add the facets that we're used to seeing today. So, but anyway, history is repeating. Now, Guten Morgen, Britain. Guten Morgen, Britain. Sprechen Deutsch. I don't want to share the photo because I don't want to get in trouble. However, it is rumored that that same incident that Harry spoke about on the docu-series involving a uniform, well, it turns out that there is a photo that is floating around of a young hoghead Piers Morgan before he turned into a hoghead wearing a very similar uniform. Now, the photo is a bit old and grainy, and I'm just not comfortable sharing it at this point, but it is making the rounds. Now, from what I hear, the photo was first brought up back in 2020 when hoghead Piers Morgan was saying that Justin Trudeau, one of the hottest world leaders in the world, a man with hair that is like this wall of black. He wanted Superman's brother, Justin Trudeau, to step down because of his blackface situations from his past. But someone brought out a photo, a compromising image, which they claim was a young hoghead Piers Morgan. So I don't want to share it myself. Yes, Lydia, heavy hangs the head, heavy hangs the hoghead when the hoghead has a despicable history of their own. I'm pretty sure that that's a very famous quote. Heavy hangs the hoghead when the hoghead has a despicable history of their own. So this hoghead is not above reproach. He is not without scandal. But anyway, when the time is right, I will share that photo. But I'm just not comfortable doing it now. But the graphics that you see over here on the left side, see the Guten Morgen Britain? Well, that was part of that story. But until I can go to the actual website where the story originated, instead of just screenshots, just like with Samantha, I can only say that those things are floating around out there, but I'm not comfortable with saying that, yes, it's the absolute truth. So this is allegedly from Samantha, and this is allegedly a story involving that hog head, heavy hangs the head of the hog, Pierce Morgan, but we'll probably hear more about that later. If I can find the actual website for that particular news agency, then I will be glad to share it. But until then, it's just hearsay. So Hoghead Pierce Morgan may not be the angel, the victim of harsh Sussex fans that he would like to portray himself. He is probably just as tainted in so many ways as people that he has been accused of being less than, quality people. Okay, so this painting that I found, I took a screenshot of it. This is one of those ones where you don't know which way it's supposed to hang. I don't even know who the artist is, but I thought the colors were really cool, so I just thought I would share it with you. And because I have gotten to that point, guess what? I'm done. Thank you all so much for spending this 2 hours with me here on Royal Sussex. Again, thank you for all the lovely gifts that I received from my wish list, the phone cases, the phone charger, the beautiful duffel bag, and of course my Kit Kat collection, which has grown. Um, Cheesecake Kit Kat bars. Have you ever heard of it? And the orange chocolate Kit Kats, which I am trying to eat in moderation, as well as other things that I received. Oh, and I got the coffee cup. I got the Archie's Birth coffee cup. That is amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. So, yeah, all of those things are greatly appreciated. Thank you, Lydia Washington, for the gift you sent me, or gifts. That was very nice. Oh yes, there's a donation list. Thank you so much, Sherry Ware. And also thank you all moderators for being so supportive to this channel. Could not have a safe space without you guys. And thank you everyone for your thumbs up and for sharing this channel. Also, thank you people who are friends of Royal Sussex and the Rangers who hate Royal Sussex, who can't stand me, but somehow watch every single day. Thank you all so much. Greatly appreciated. And thank you, Sheila Watson, for 8 months membership. Dina Nasser for a super sticker. Shelly L, thank you for the 3 super stickers. And Iswa Smile, is that is W Smile? Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you, S, for the super sticker, super chat. Thank you, Legs, for your 2 super stickers. Shanta Williams, thank you for yours. And B10 Pow, thank you for your super sticker. And also for your 10 months of membership. Wow. And Jocelyn Young, thank you for your super sticker. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but thank you all very much. This has not been a Bill Totson this has not been a Mark Goodson or a Bill Totson production. Nobody is going to get a year's supply of turtle wax. Nobody is getting an Amana refrigerator or radar range. Am I showing my age again? No animals were maimed or injured throughout this Royal Sussex. Any nudity or violence was definitely simulated and probably never asked for. And remember, you aren't ever going to see this one again. No, I'm just kidding. You can go back and watch this anytime you want. And I'm yarned ever. I love that word, yarned. Anyway, thank you guys. And that's it. Last word of the day. You know what? I'll do the last word. You aren't ever going to sell this house. You aren't ever going to leave it either. So that is the last word of the day is you aren't. Courtesy of Betty Davis. A little sad news. Cher's mom passed away today, I saw. I hope that's not one of those pranks, but they said she's 96 and that she passed away at age 96. Again, Cher's mom reportedly passed away today. Cher is like one of my favorite outspoken people. And anyway, I've always been a big fan of Cher. Okay. All right. So we've done the last word. Oh, Victoria Fabre, thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Yes, you guys, every day, I promise I try to do the best that I can because you guys deserve it. And I don't ever want to let you down. You aren't ever going to get any problems out of me, and you aren't ever going to tell anybody that either. You aren't. But yeah, I do the best I can, I promise. And I always will. And thank you guys so much for trusting me to do this work. That is something that I never, ever take for granted. Okay, so with that, let's give our thanks to Doria, who I love so much. As a matter of fact, can we just go to those photos of Doria from yesterday? Do you guys have time for that? Yesterday's Doria's photos were so beautiful. Especially the one where I removed that big belly out of the way so that she and Meghan could be so much closer together. Love that photo of Doria. Let me see. There it is. Eyes of an angel. Wow. How come that's not working? Let me try this. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Love, love, love Doria. Sweet, beautiful Doria. I love both of them. And of course, all of my photos that I have saved over the years of Doria and Meghan together, all of them are my favorites. I love them all equally. Even the one that the paparazzi had took that is a guilty favorite of mine. I hate that it's a paparazzi photo, but seeing Doria and Meghan, and Doria's got that styrofoam container with leftovers. I love that photo because it's just so sweet seeing mother and daughter just out doing things together like that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't have the words. Just love to see them together. I love that mother-daughter relationship. Thank you, Colorless. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh, Doria, love you so much. Okay. All right, let me stop before I start getting emotional for Doria. But anyway, thank you, Doria, for your contribution to this epic love story, and also our other favorite mom, Princess Diana, who was so brave in spite of everything that was going against Diana. She was brave enough to try to tell her story the best way she could. And we are not going to let her be forgotten. Harry certainly won't, and we won't either. So that is also something that is important every single day. Baron, enjoy your bag. Yes, thank you. So that bag, I was just blown away when I saw that. That is so nice. The quality of it. I felt kind of like guilty. I'm like, I don't deserve anything this nice. Oh, the cup is yours too. Okay, the cup did not have a slip with it, but yes, thank you. But that bag, oh my God, that bag is just I can't even explain how much that bag is so quality. You guys, it's like this nice heavy canvas and it's got like the big substantial zipper on it with the like leather pulls on it. Beautiful bag. It's a weekender. You can expand it. And I mean, I was just shocked because it wasn't even on the list. And I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, is this for me? And did somebody make a mistake? But yeah, thank you so much. That was truly a surprise because I didn't even ask for that. And anyway, I love it. And I'm going to get great use out of it. And thank you again so much, you and everyone else who have contributed on the Royal Sussex wish list. So yeah, greatly appreciate it. Again, nobody has to participate in that at all, but it is greatly appreciated. But yeah, thank you all so much. Oh, and again, thank you for the super chats. We're going to announce that Andrew is a sick old man. Disgusting. Oh my God. I'm going to have to watch that again now that you brought it up. Why don't we watch it together? Why don't we watch it together? I don't want us to ever not watch that one. Why not? Since you've gone through the trouble. And so let the revolution begin. So the Welsh and Scots are coming out to march for their independence. This is how King Charles III's rule starts. Well, I mentioned that the other day, didn't I? And so in Edinburgh today, on the Royal Mile, you may recognize Giles Cathedral. That is where the Queen's service took place up there in Scotland. They are marching. And on the right side, where you see the woman holding that red cell phone, that is where the guy in the very quiet, muffled streets of Edinburgh yelled out as loud as he could. That is the very famous location where we heard, Andrew, you're a sick old man. So just to give you a little reference to the geography, the Queen was rolling down the street in her royal state hearse, and the kid on the side saw a group of siblings, an aging group of baby boomers, actually a couple of them pensioners at this point, walking toward him, and he was so overwhelmed with emotion that something welled up inside of him and said, Andrew, you're a sick old man. And then he was plucked from the crowd, thrown to the ground, handcuffed. And as he was carted away, he yelled, disgusting! Oh, you know what? I swear you could hear that kid yell disgusting from here to Harlem. His voice echoed in the street for days. Every time someone stepped out of their home, every time you open up the window, you can still hear disgusting echoing in the streets of Edinburgh. So I tell you, that was classic. And not only did he get arrested, but the conversation after that, he was literally sitting there. I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but he told the police, people with power just can't get away with these things. And I mean, it was just so, he was very articulate about his dismay with the power brokers and the people that take advantage of working class poor people. Clever blends, yes. You guys, maybe if you guys want to make Clever Blend a Christmas gift, Let me post that to the top of the chat right now while I'm looking at it. And that way you'll know how to find the Clever Blend. I purchased the entire set when it first came out. And I have to tell you, all of those drinks are really good. Of course, I think everybody's favorite is the Golden Blend, which has a kind of a spicy seasoned taste to it. But there it is at the top of the chat. So if you guys are interested in buying Clever Blend for yourself or making it a gift for someone else, that is the link right there. Yeah, and it's one of Oprah's favorite things. And I see right here there's a offer for 20% off. Yeah, I just clicked on that link. So if you guys haven't tried the Clever Blend or if you need a refill, Lydia was kind enough to put the link up for you. So you can go and do that. And of course, by Squatties purchasing the Clever Blend, it is another way to support our faves. Seeing that our Duchess is invested in the company. I believe she's still invested. Yeah, she's invested in the company. She only invests in things that she likes. And so, as we spoke earlier about Oprah receiving Clever Blends from Meghan, Lydia Washington was clever enough to introduce the link to us. So, if you want to try it, now is a good time because it has 20% off. And if it's Oprah's favorite thing, is my favorite thing. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go before it turns into a 3-hour thing today, and that's definitely not my intention. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to try to do some errands this coming week, so it may be a couple of days. Actually, I'm going to have my aunt, hopefully Tuesday. She hasn't been to Costco. She's a Sam's Club. So I would like to introduce her to Costco because I think, I believe Costco is superior in every way to Sam's Club. So I may have to try to get out of here early one day so I can introduce her to one of my favorite places. So maybe Tuesday, but certainly not after the Thursday, because Thursday, that's when we get another chance to see the Sussexes, and I am going to be as busy as a cat covering up poop. So wish me luck. All right. So we're good. Yes, Costco. I love Costco. Costco's is like my favorite store now. And to think I only went there because I wanted to save money on gasoline. Now I go at least twice a month. I'm going to say at least twice a month. But yeah, I love that place. What is that? Okay. All right. Okay. So just looking at a couple of your comments here. All right. So I think we're good. And let's let's call it a day. All right. Thank you guys. And I will see you all tomorrow. I was glad to hear Petal earlier. I'm glad she's okay. I was so worried about her the other day. You guys, I just adore Petal. As I say, nobody prosecutes a case the way Petal can. And Petal is the very consciousness, I think, of the Sussex Squad when she really goes after people and call them out. So it's like she puts into words a lot of things that I'm feeling. And that is incredible the way she does that. So I watched earlier and I was listening as I was prepping for today, as I often do. And I really, really enjoyed Petal all these months of calling these people out. So super great job as always. So I'm glad she's okay. because I was worried. I know you guys were worried too. So anyway, she says things are fine. So that's good. And I watched Anita. Excuse me, Anita came on late last night. Oh my God, I loved it. Anita has a certain way of just kind of sneaking up on you when she's talking, because she's so sweet and genteel. But when when Anita says what she says, the way she says it, sometimes I'm like, oop, I didn't see that coming. So that's another one of my guilty pleasures, Anita, my Duke and I. So cool when she does that. But yeah, she seems so sweet and genteel, but sometimes Anita could throw some zingers in there. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm glad we're on the same side. Ooh. Oh man. Okay. Yes, snow in the UK. Beautiful Christmas snow. Yes, you know what, guys? Speaking of which, I had to put my Christmas lights up. So I'm gonna go, you guys. Thank you so much. And see y'all tomorrow. Love you guys. And let's ginge ourselves out of here. And happy Sunday, one and all.